What if the blueprint for Africa's boldest modern economic revolution, the African Continental Free Trade Area, or AfCFTA, wasn't born in boardrooms of the 21st century, but etched into the sands of ancient trade routes that crisscrossed the continent long before colonial maps divided it? Imagine camel caravans laden with gold and salt, forging paths through the Sahara, not just moving goods, but weaving a web of unity, innovation, and resilience that echoes in today's push for Pan-Africanism. This isn't a dusty history lesson. It's the untold story of how Africa's ancient interconnectedness holds the keys to its future prosperity. If you're ready to see how the past illuminates the path ahead, stay with me. By the end, you'll understand why reclaiming these roots could transform the continent anew. Let's start by peeling back the layers of time. Most narratives focus on the Trans-Saharan trade as a bridge between North Africa and Europe, but the rare, deeper truth is that Africa's ancient routes were first and foremost a testament to intracontinental genius. From the 8th century BCE, networks like the Garamantian channels in the Libyan Sahara, ingenious underground aqueducts called foggaras, sustained oases that became hubs for local exchange. These weren't mere pit stops. They facilitated a vibrant internal economy where Berber, Tuareg, and Saharan communities traded millet, dates, and textiles among themselves long before outsiders arrived. This self-reliant web extended southward to the Niger River bends, where the emerging empires of Ghana and Mali, in the 8th to 13th centuries, mastered the flow of gold from bambuk fields and salt from Tagaza mines. What made this rare? It wasn't dependency on foreign powers. It was African-led interdependence, where trade fostered alliances that transcended tribal lines, much like Pan-Africanism's call for unity today. But here's a question that might make you pause. What if the real power of these routes wasn't the goods they carried, but the invisible bonds they created? Don't click away yet. The next layer reveals how this ancient connectivity directly inspires AfCFTA's vision, and it's more profound than you think. Delving deeper, consider the Swahili Coast networks from the 9th century onward. Stretching from Somalia to Mozambique, these maritime routes linked inland African kingdoms with the Indian Ocean world, exporting ivory, rhino horn, and iron while importing porcelain and spices. Rarely highlighted is how this created hybrid city-states like Kilwa and Mombasa, where Bantu, Arab, and Persian influences blended into a cosmopolitan culture, evidence of Africa's early globalization from within. Traders navigated monsoon winds with dhow ships, establishing seasonal markets that mirrored modern free trade zones. This internal dynamism countered the colonial myth of a divided Africa, showing borders as fluid and economies as intertwined. Fast forward to AfCFTA, launched in 2018 and now operational across 54 nations, its aim to eliminate 90% of tariffs on intra-African goods echoes these ancient efficiencies. Just as salt from the Sahara sustained life and gold-fueled empires, AfCFTA targets a $3.4 trillion market by reducing trade barriers, potentially lifting 30 million out of poverty. The inspiration? Ancient roots proved that when Africans trade among themselves, prosperity multiplies. A lesson in resilience against external disruptions, like how Mali's Timbuktu scholars preserved knowledge amid nomadic shifts. Hold on. Imagine if reclaiming this legacy could heal the scars of colonialism. That's coming up, with a rare twist on how Pan-Africanism draws directly from these paths. If that's intriguing, keep watching. This connection could change how you see Africa's potential. Now, the inspiring bridge to Pan-Africanism. Pioneered by thinkers like Kwame Nkrumah and Julius Nyerere in the mid-20th century, Pan-Africanism isn't just political rhetoric. It's a revival of the ancient ethos where trade routes symbolized shared destiny. Take the lesser-known Kanem-Bornu Empire around Lake Chad from the 9th to 19th centuries. Its cavalry-protected caravans linked Central Africa to the Mediterranean, fostering diplomatic marriages and cultural exchanges that blurred ethnic divides. This prefigured Pan-African ideals of solidarity, where economic ties prevented fragmentation. Colonialism severed these routes with arbitrary borders, but AfCFTA revives them digitally and logistically. Think the Lagos-Abidjan corridor or the North-South Highway echoing old Saharan paths. Rarely discussed is the environmental wisdom. Ancient traders adapted to climate shifts, rotating routes to avoid desertification, a model for today's sustainable trade amid Africa's climate challenges. Inspiringly, this continuity shows Africa as a cradle of innovation, from foggaras irrigating barren lands to blockchain in modern AfCFTA deals, proving that unity isn't new, it's ancestral. Before we wrap, picture this. What if embracing these roots could make Africa the world's next economic powerhouse? The final insight ties it all together. Stay for the call to action that brings it home. In essence, ancient African trade routes weren't just paths of commerce. They were arteries of a living, breathing continent, resilient, innovative, and united. They explain AfCFTA's urgency by showing that intra-African trade isn't a novel experiment, but a return to proven strength, potentially boosting GDP by 7% by 2035, and for Pan-Africanism they offer timeless proof. When borders fade and exchanges flourish, Africans thrive together, countering division with shared prosperity. This narrative isn't about nostalgia, it's an inspiration to act, reclaiming a legacy that could forge a future where Africa leads globally once more. If this deep dive into Africa's enduring trade wisdom has sparked something in you, curiosity about our shared past or hope for the continent's rise, hit that subscribe button on Ages Explained right now. We uncover rare histories like this every week, connecting yesterday's secrets to today's world. Turn on notifications so you never miss a story. Drop a comment. Which ancient African route fascinates you most, and how do you see it shaping the future? Let's discuss. Thanks for watching. Until next time, keep exploring the ages.